Caitlin Clark, the sensation who's taken the sports world by storm, is facing not only the challenges on the court but also off the court. Recently, things took a turn during a heated game against JCS Sheldon, who poked Caitlin in the eye, sparking a confrontation. What followed was a chaotic series of events that raised questions about the treatment of one of the WNBA's most dynamic players. Before we dive deep into this story, subscribe to the channel so you never miss powerful and thought-provoking stories. Let's go in deep. The moment started when JC Sheldon, guarding Caitlin Clark, made a seemingly accidental yet purposeful poke to her eye. Was it intentional? Probably not. But this little bump seemed planned. In response, Caitlin, in self-defense, pushed Sheldon away. However, Marina Mabrey took this opportunity to take things further, slamming Caitlin to the ground. What was the logic behind this? Shockingly, the referees did not eject anyone. They only called flagrant fouls. This wasn't a great decision, especially considering the game was in its final minutes.
The delusional fan base disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid. And
as tempers flared, Caitlin's teammate Sophie Cunningham made sure to give Sheldon a taste of some payback. But the fight didn't end there. During the scuffle, a few more players were ejected. However, the message that resonated was clear: Caitlin Clark's teammates had her back, and they were not going to let her take this alone. But why does this still seem like a major issue in the WNBA? This league was handed a generational talent, Caitlin Clark, the Steph Curry of women's basketball, and yet some are determined to minimize her impact. And no, this isn't a race issue. Both women who shoved Caitlin were also white. So what is going on here? Let's talk about it. The dismissive attitude towards Caitlin Clark isn't just a player issue. It extends to coaches as well. Take, for instance, Gino Orima, one of the most respected coaches in women's basketball. Last year, he made some critical remarks about Caitlin Clark, calling out her fan base as delusional for claiming Caitlin would dominate the WNBA. He also criticized Caitlin's physicality, saying she was not built for this league. Can you imagine if Coach K said something like that about LeBron before he entered the NBA? It would never happen. So why the negativity towards Caitlin? In the NBA, fans are constantly asking who's the face of the league. It's a question everyone cares about. From LeBron to Curry, the NBA thrives on having dominant faces leading the way. And guess what? The NBA just signed a $75 billion media deal. They don't necessarily need a face right now, but they still make sure they have one. So why is it that the WNBA, which has been handed the equivalent of a Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark, seems to be spitting in her face? Despite breaking attendance and viewership records last year, the WNBA downplays Caitlin's role in it all. When the WNBA posted record-breaking views during the regular season last year, a shocking statistic stood out: 14 of the 16 most viewed games involved Caitlin Clark. And yet, when asked to credit her, the WNBA seems to ignore her. Even the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, downplays Caitlin's contributions, mentioning her only twice in an article where the rest of the league was highlighted. In the same article, Engelbert praised transcendent rookies like Angel, Reese, and Cameron Brink for the success, but Caitlin barely received any acknowledgement. Engelbert tried to attribute the success of the draft and the growing fan base to technical upgrades, like modernizing the WNBA app. Is that the real reason behind the success? Can we blame Angel Reese, who has been caught up in the narrative that she's equally responsible for the league's popularity? She doesn't deserve to be criticized, as she is merely following the narrative. It's evident Caitlin's popularity is the main driver for the WNBA's growth. Without Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese would just be another player lost in the shuffle of a sport that struggles to gain mainstream attention. Take the attendance of Angel's Sky and Caitlin's Fever games this year. When Caitlyn was injured, the Sky's game saw tickets plummet in value. While some had originally bought tickets for hundreds of dollars, they were forced to sell them for mere pennies. It's clear the Caitlyn Clark effect is real. Despite what some might say, Caitlyn is not overrated. She was an all-star in her first year, made the All-WNBA team, and even won Rookie of the Year in her return game from injury. She drained 3 consecutive three-pointers from Steph Curry range. Her 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds against the league's top team, New York, spoke volumes. And when Breanna Stewart, one of the most decorated players in the game, laughs after a step-back 3, what else is there to say? Caitlyn is undeniably elite. So why are WNBA players and even the league's commissioner so reluctant to give her the recognition she deserves? It likely stems from Caitlyn's age. At just 22 years old, she was immediately crowned as the face of the league. And that hasn't sat well with women who have spent decades fighting for recognition, like Diana Taurasi and Cheryl Swoops. People in the league who've been grinding for years now have to deal with a 22-year-old already considered better than them. The same thing happened in the NBA with LeBron James. Older players like those on the Cavs didn't want to see a high school player take their spot. It's human nature. Whether male or female, older players don't like feeling overshadowed by younger talent. But once LeBron and Steph Curry proved themselves, the hate faded away. They became legends. And that will be the case for Caitlyn Clark. Her doubters will eventually be forced to change their minds. Looking ahead, the NBA offseason is going to be one for the books, with rumors swirling around Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and now even Ja Morant's future in doubt after a blockbuster trade involving teammate Desmond Bane. The landscape of basketball is shifting once again. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and catch our next deep dive into the world of basketball. See you next time.